So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be showing you how to install our new AFD V3 STI Wing color match. We have these in all the colors for your VB, and these are updated, which means that from the previous generation of V3, we made this heavier, we made it easier to install. I would say a lot better. Overall, it's the old V3, it was a good wing, but we just made it a little easier for guys at home to install. So Kevin here at WRX is gonna show you guys how to put this on today and what comes in this kit.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm here to talk about the installation as well as the overall product that we're reviewing today. So the main difference between this setup and the previous setup that they offered was, biggest difference is the ease to install this spoiler. So what makes it different too is the hardware it comes with. So the main difference between the hardware first edition to the current edition now is this setup right here. These 4 pieces, and later on I'll show you where these pieces go. All in all, this installation should cut the time down nearly half. But one of the biggest difference too about the spoiler is that it's heavier, it's sturdier, and so it should have less flex in the overall aerodynamics of the spoiler. The previous one compared to this one, I believe it's like another 2 or 3 pounds heavier overall, but it does add strength and overall the flex of the spoiler. Today, let's get started. I'll go over how to assemble the spoiler, where we're gonna drill into the trunk, as well as just installing everything. So first, with the spoiler installation, you start with the side pieces and you fit the studs on. Hand tighten everything first. So after you have all the studs installed, next is to install the side plates to the wing itself. When you mount the hardware onto the spoiler, you want to put the washer first, the crush washer after, and then the nut. Washer, crush washer, and then the nut. So to tie in the 10 mil, you can use a supplied one that they offer in the bag, or you can use your own 10 mil. And then after you have your side plate installed, you install the base plate. Next comes the gasket. So usually I apply the gasket within this lip. After you have the spoiler all assembled, now it's time to move on to the car. The main tool you're gonna need right now is a flathead screwdriver. It's just to pop off clips and then to remove the cover off the trunk itself. So there are these clips. You just have to put a screwdriver in between, turn it, and it'll come right out. So after you remove the cover, it leaves everything exposed. The first drill we're gonna actually do is we're gonna drill through this hole right here, straight through it. And the size drill bit we're gonna be using today is a 5/16. Make sure you drill straight into it. Just find the template to it, match the corner, and then since the car is white, you can see the spots where we need to drill. It's nicer drilling through tape instead of the bare metal. You get a nicer hole when you drill with the tape on. Currently, this is a sample template. All the new shipments, it will look nicer than this. And then after you drill through this one, you open the trunk and then drill the rest. From this backside, you will see where it goes through. And so if you look at it, it does hit the seal if you drill on the car as such. So you want to drill with the trunk open for this one. After you have everything drilled on top, you can just remove the tape. So you're gonna have to resize this a little larger. Typically, I make the hole about 3/4 of an inch, just so we can fit the washer in. So the next step is double checking the hardware now. Now we have 6 more bolts to go in order to mount the spoiler. You put the crush washer in and then the washer. And this is where you're gonna need an extra set of hands just to hold the spoiler in place. And so I have Jeff over here. This plastic washer, it's gonna go in between this sheet metal and the outside sheet metal. If you have smaller hands, it might be a little easier to reach, but if you have larger hands, an easier way to make it a little easier for yourself is get a little blue tape. So you tape the side of the spacer and then you put at the other end the spacer a little easier to fit in. And then after you have the washer in place, put your hardware through so it's sticking out the other way. You have your friend help you align the spoiler and you align the back screw. You just tighten it, but not too tight because we're gonna tighten everything all at once. Just because if you tighten it too tight on one spot, it's gonna make it a little harder to adjust for the other side. So after you have the 2 bolts mounted, next you can move to the other ones. You can double check to see the alignment for everything else, but everything should be pretty spot on. So after you have all the hardware screwed down tight, just double check your work. If everything looks fine, you could just move on to putting the cover back on and then cleaning up. Same with all the other ones that they had previously. They were pretty spot on fitment. That concludes the install. This installation took us about an hour from start to end. I'm still not completely done. There's just some cleanup steps left. If you guys need help installing the spoiler, you can hit us up at Elite Wraps. We'll be glad to install your spoiler for you. Catch you guys next time.